Hey folks, this is Gabe at Security Baron, and there have been some iconic bosses. We're talking Khalees, Rick Ross, and Michael Scott. Today we're reviewing Password Boss, Password Manager. Let's see if we can add it to that list. In today's review of Password Boss, we're gonna go over some pros and cons, its feature set, subscription options, customer support before finally diving into its applications so you have all the information you need to know if Password Boss is a password manager for you. If you want to see a list of our favorite password managers, Google Security Baron Best Password Managers. If you have a question about today's review, leave us a comment and I'll get back to you. Let's kick off today's review of Password Boss looking at some pros and cons, beginning with the pros. Now it has a dark web scan, which allows you to search for your credentials in the dark web to ensure that no one is using your information against you. I guess maybe not for you either. And it's also a very affordable password manager, coming in at $250 a month for a personal plan and just $3 a month for a business plan. Now on the con side, it is a little bit difficult to import your old passwords. No matter what the browser, Chrome, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, you may run into some issues. It's definitely not as easy as some of its competitors to import your old passwords. Now that we've gone over pros and cons, let's jump into the meat of our review, the feature set for Password Boss. Now, of course, the main feature is the ability to have one master password that controls all of your passwords. Now, one thing to note is that when you start with Password Boss, you can import from Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Firefox with a properly formatted CSV file, or you can manually import all of your passwords. Now, as you go through that process, you're going to be given a password security score for each of your passwords, where they're letting you know if they're old or weak, and then they can help you generate new ones via their own password generator. Now, those are going to be much more complicated likely than anything you can conceive of, but you don't have to remember them, because think about this, the point of Password Boss is to have one master password that controls all of your passwords, and then that syncs across devices. Not only can it do your passwords, but it can actually even fill out forms for you that are common on the internet, like address and those types of things. So ultimately, it makes your web surfing experience that much more convenient. Now let's talk security. If any of your passwords are compromised, Password Boss gives you a security breach alert, allowing you to change it ASAP. Now, in terms of authentication, you have two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication on iOS devices. Now, in terms of what you're equipped with, it's the industry standard for password cracking and encryption. Now, if you need other people to have access to various passwords, you can do so. You can just share your password within the application for Password Boss. And if you're worried about getting locked out of this password manager that you've now established this trusting relationship with, you can assign an emergency contact that gives you access to your password vault, so you don't have to worry about being locked out forever. Now, one thing to note is that along with that, you do get unlimited storage. Now, local and cloud storage is encrypted, and you can decide on where you want your server to be. Europe, South America, Asia, you get the idea. Anywhere, you name it. Now, the final thing I want to note in terms of its feature set is the dark web scan. This allows you to search the dark web for any of your credentials to make sure that it's not out there being used by malicious people. So that's the feature set, which is quite strong for Password Boss. Whoa, hold on. I hope you're enjoying today's review of Password Boss, Password Manager. If you want to be kept up to date on the newest in password managers, VPNs, and smart home security, subscribe to our channel, Security Baron. We're dropping new content weekly. All right, let's get back to the video. Now that we've gone over the features for Password Boss, let's talk about the subscription options. Now, if you're an individual, you're going to want to get the premium plan, which is $30 a year or $2.50 a month. Now, one thing we want to be entirely clear about is that with Password Boss, you're paying for an annual plan each year up front. There is no monthly payment. So we're going to give you the monthly breakdown, but note that each year you're paying the full price for Password Boss. But we do think it's mighty affordable. For example, the family plan is $48 a year or $4 a month, and that gives you 5 users. Now, beyond the personal plans, there are business plans available for Password Boss that give you more security options and the like. If you want to see a full breakdown of all the personal and business plans for Password Boss, check out our link in the description below to a full written review at securitybaron.com. Let's talk customer support for Password Boss. Now, Password Boss has a few options for you to get the help you need. You can go to their online help center, you can email them, or you can fill out a form on their website. Now, they don't have live chat or a phone option, but honestly, that's pretty typical for password managers. Now, online, there are very few reviews on Password Boss. There's no Google, no Amazon, but Trustpilot, it has 4 out of 5 star ratings. Now, those are only 3 reviews, so not the largest of sample sizes. But one thing I want to note, 2 of those 3 reviews had very positive things to say about the customer support team, which I definitely take into consideration. Now, personally, when we were trying to get in touch with Password Boss, their responses took between 1 and 3 days, which means that they are doing okay, but there's probably some room for improvement on the customer support side for Password Boss. The last thing I want to jump into are the applications for Password Boss. Now, you can find applications on Windows and Mac OS, Android, and iOS. It also works with extensions for Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, Opera. You get the idea. Now, when it comes to mobile devices, it does do particularly well. It has a 3.7 score in the Google Play Store and a 4.5 out of 5 stars in the Apple App Store. So let's go ahead and check it out on my iPhone. So here we are checking out the Password Boss mobile application on my iPhone 7 Plus. Now you'll note here I've got 5 items on this one now, because with the mobile element, you're really just going to add them as you go through it. You're not going to import from that CSV file on your phone. You can do that in one of the Mac OS apps or one of the browser extensions. Now let's go ahead and look at how I would add to this particular page. I could hit add right there in the middle, very straightforward. And then it asks you what type of password would you like to add. So I could do a website, an app, instant messenger, Wi-Fi, or even different types. I can go to the digital wallet, personal info, where I put in my driver's license or identity. I can even share an item or an emergency contact. Now, if I would like to go to my digital wallet, I click there, digital wallet, and I can add here. And it asks what type of information would you like to add. I could say bank account or a credit card, or any other type of particular thing. Maybe you want to put your Venmo information, something like that. Now, if you go to more, you'll see that you have personal info, identity, secure notes, and let's look at the share center. Now, sharing passwords is easy. You said securely share any data instantly with your trusted friends and family. So that way you don't have to give them access to everything. You can just give them access to any particular account or service that you'd like them to have access to. Maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's Hulu. That's really useful for people in your network. Now, if I wanted to do identities, for me, this is typically something like your passport. I always forget my passport expiration date if I'm trying to buy a flight to Canada or something. And that's really useful. Now, one thing to note is that you can set up emergency access with your Password Boss account, which can give you both an individual item or an entire account. So I'm actually a really big fan of Password Boss for this feature. So say I want to say, hey, you're my emergency contact for when I forget my Bank of America account. Well then, boom. That person gives me access to Bank of America, but maybe not to everything entirely. Now let's look at our security score. This is pretty bad. As you can see here, we have too many duplicates for the accounts that we've set up with our particular Security Baron testing account. And you'll see that it has duplicates, they're all weak, and it basically will get you through the steps necessary to improve the security of your accounts. So that's a really useful element of Password Boss that you can access right there in the mobile application. Now, the final thing we'll look at is favorites, where you can have the favorite elements like Amazon or NPR if you're constantly watching things or buying things or listening or reading things on NPR. If you're a member, we just want to have those right there on our favorites page. So overall, I really like the intuitiveness that you get with your Password Boss mobile application. All right, we've come a long way with our Password Boss review, but you want to know, Gabe, is it the right password manager for me? And look, if you're looking for a dark web scan, a very affordable password manager, and a highly rated app, both for Android and especially on iOS, look no further. Password Boss is bringing all of that. It's bringing the noise. Now, if you're someone looking for instantaneous customer support who doesn't like to have any type of doubt in their mind at any point on what's going on with their password manager, then sure, look somewhere else, because even in our experience, Password Boss was not the most reactive in terms of instantaneous getting back to us on our questions. But is it a strong contender for your password manager? Absolutely. It's bringing a lot to the table, a lot to the game, and frankly, Password Boss is a boss. So that concludes our review of Password Boss. If you appreciated today's video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe at Security Baron. Be secure.